Hello there guys, Elita Legionarii here, and today I'll be bringing you a 2 vs 2 31k for Rome Total War. Again, I'm going to be using the Seleucid Empire, however this time I will be using Chariots instead of cataphracts, so 6 Chariots, very heavily upgraded, but the infantry component is still the same, 10 Silver Shield Pikemen, 4 Silver Shield Legionnaires. I'll be allied with Heaven's Mohammed. He is in command of the Senate. He has 6 Praetorian Cavalry, 13 Urban Cohorts and 1 Legionary First Cohort. Our opponents are Spider-Pig of the COH clan. He's in command of the Julii-Romans. His army consists of 6 Praetorian Cavalry and 14 Urban Cohorts. And his ally is Beta 267 of the COH clan. I think he went by another name, Bell or something like that. I can't recall. I've never played him before. This was the first game I've played with him, but I know Mohammed seems to know who he is. He's playing as the Bruttii-Romans. He has 6 Praetorian Cavalry and 14 Urban Cohorts. So it's always quite tricky using the Seleucids against Rome, particularly 2 Romes. As you saw, I had some difficulties with it last time, even though we did succeed in that last battle. In this fight, initially I was thinking more aggression and rush, although then again I generally think that way, because that's the way I like to play the most. But Mohammed wisely suggested that we try and conserve the chariots towards the end of the fight if possible. So what he suggests is we move up steadily, and he'll just do a sort of traditional Peeler duel scrap with Spider-Pig, and all I've got to do is I'll do a little bit of Peeler dueling and using Testudo, and we'll just sort of hold Beta out. Well, that's what I wanted to do, because initially I wanted to rush, but then Mohammed mentioned this and he said I'll move up and we'll just skirmish away a bit with Spider-Pig and try and save the chariots towards the end. It's about as far as we got, really, and I just had to decide on the best way in which I could conserve my infantry. So I'm just going to use my Silver Shield Legionnaires as Testudos, Peeler screens and things like that, and try and deny all the fighting with my Silver Shield Pikemen until a point at which Mohammed wants to go in with a Cav strike, and I'll combine my chariots with him. That's generally what I was going for, or what we agreed on. So we're kind of coming in closer here. But I'm not going to be able to compete with Beta on any level in terms of infantry, and I had to be very careful with my chariots. If I waste them or lose them in any way, we're going to lose, so I have to be careful there. See, now this is another thing I'm just going to point out too. They probably expected me to have cataphracts, and therefore they have not brought archers, although I think it's a given that you should bring archers no matter what with the Seleucids, because you still use the archers pretty effectively against these Silver Shield Pikemen. Because I mean, if you look at that shield, it is tiny. You can shoot them from the front with well upgraded archers and still drop them, and they didn't do that, and it's going to cost them later on. Anyway, as you can see, the Spider-Pig and Mohammed are going to push up here, and they're just going to do a typical kind of Peeler scrap duel like that, and just sort of come fighting each other in waves, and we're going to try and drag it out a little bit. I'm just not even going to bother with throwing my own Peeler at this stage. I'm just going to move up in Testudo and completely deny Beta the ability to do so, and basically I'm just going to try and get him to sit there and do basically nothing until Mohammed has done some damage to Spider-Pig with some of his Peeler and some bit of infantry dueling basically, and then we'll strike together. That's basically what we ended up going with. It wasn't entirely fleshed out plan. We kind of did it as we did that plan as we played. That was the general thinking, but it was Mohammed's idea to conserve the chariots to later, and I have to say I think that is a wise move, and it's going to work well here because there's no archers. You have to be pretty careful when there's archers though. So a bit of infantry Peeler duels going on here, as you can see. A bit of thinning out on both sides. Slightly so far in Mohammed's favour, but nothing drastic. I put 2 of my guys into Peeler range and then 2 into Testudo, so any Peeler he throws should hopefully hit the Testudos. But but although they are actually hitting these units at the moment, he's kind of swung one around the side here, which was pretty clever because it means my testudos are being spared. I mean, his men are not wasting on my testudos rather. But again, all I'm going to do is try and hold this out and try and deny it from happening for as long as I can, while Mohammed moves up and just tries thinning out Spider Pig a bit until we're ready to cav strike or cav chariot strike. We'll basically use our mounted units to do as much damage as we can, get that initial breakthrough. If you use chariots right, they will mass rout everything. But you know, scythe chariots are brilliant like that. However, I don't always have a very good track record with chariots, although I'm not too bad with scythe chariots, but I'm not very good with like Egypt or Britannia. I don't seem to have a lot of success with them. But anyway, at this stage it's just some dueling here. Spider Pig is pushed in, more peeler screens have been set up by Spider Pig, and there's just dueling going on in general with a lot of peeler throwing going on. Over this side, Beta's just trying to gauge me, trying to get openings on me, and I'm steadily kind of denying my lines here. Here he got a few hits into my pikemen. I'm really worried about this. I don't want my pikemen taking many hits, if possible, if I can conserve it. That's what I'm going to try and do, but it's not always very easy to do. As you can see, just a little bit of dueling here, pretty close, pretty even to be honest, perhaps slightly in Mo's favour, but not much. Again, I'm going to push up here and hopefully just use these testudos to stall them. I have my pikemen close enough that any cav strike probably won't be made against my testudos without striking into my pikemen, so that's what I'm hoping for there, and I'm just going to steadily hold out and hopefully not too much will happen at this stage. I think in a moment some Spider Pigs guys actually hit my dudes here, and I was conscious of this, so I was trying to move my guys into range so any peeler might be thrown into this testudo or this unit here. As you can see, he's trying to throw some more peeler here, and I think he must be individually choosing his targets because he is hitting my pike lines. As you can see, there's a few dead silver shield pikemen there. Now I was pretty cautious here. I realised just how isolated these testudos and the silver shield legionnaire had come, so I'm going to withdraw them again in case his cav strike comes in and he tries damaging it. So he's going to try and rush me while I do this, but I'm going to quickly reorder my lines so that he can't do that as easily. And here I'm going to activate some of the more peeler here, and I'm going to do a bit of damage to this unit. Now I'm not going to compete as well on a peeler level as these guys because these are urbans and they're better. And then, as you can see, Spider Pig goes for a quick cav strike here, trying to break through, but still mostly skirmish. Mohammed's going in waves, good move because he's always trying to go for that counter strike, which is always decisive. One of Mohammed's guys does rout here. I don't think any of the Julii does. He wants to get out of there before he gets countered. Now there's some peeler coming in here trying to get some of his cav, and he needs to get out of there, so that little tussle probably came off in Spider Pig's favour. Although, oh, here we go, one of them routs, so it comes out pretty even. Some more peeler coming in at this stage. Again, nothing much on my side, simply stalling and trying to keep Beta from actually being able to engage. And then we get 3 units of urbans routing from Spider Pigs, some good peeler throwing there from Mo, and that's going to allow us to take a little bit of an infantry edge. Going to be very, very useful. I'm just waiting for when Mohammed wants to make the cavalry strike. At the moment, all I'm doing is just holding out, and he's starting to push up en masse at this stage, so it's likely going to happen pretty soon when the battle begins. So the first rows of Mohammed's army are fighting here. There's been more losses for Spider Pig, so he's winning that particular engagement. Now here I didn't cover myself very well, and these guys get hit by some peeler. I didn't think that through as well as I should have. Here we see some more cav coming through. This is basically Spider Pig trying to even the odds a little bit in the infantry duel, and he does get one of these guys out. Mohammed is not yet engaging in. I think he's trying to bait the cavalry in, or he's trying to time it right. It's very important with cavalry timing. You don't want to muck around too long, but you don't want to be too hasty either. You got to try and get that balance. So here he pulls more infantry in, and it's just a steady sort of bit by bit duel. Here we can see some more cavalry coming in. Here Mohammed comes in en masse. So I'm going to get moving now and help him. Now what I'm going to do is swing my chariots to the side, so I'm shooting up the flank, and Mohammed's going to engage all his infantry into this. Gets a good charge in here, does a rout. He's going to quickly disengage, and we're going to try and catch all their cavalry in the damaged spot. Now unfortunately when you try and go through chariots like this, it always causes a bit of a hassle trying to coordinate everything there, as you can see, but there's no way around that, to be honest. But I'm trying to get onto the flank. Now he's going to go in again. As you can see, we've got some routes here. I'm going to start pushing my infantry in so I can quickly rush them into the fight, and I start charging my chariots straight into his line with the intention of killing his general. Combined with his cavalry, we managed to rout Spider-Pig's army, and I'm going to charge my infantry and smash it straight into the fronts of Beta's army, and with this chain route going, Chariot's going to murder his cavalry pretty quickly, and with infantry support right onto his flank like this, and with plenty of infantry coming in, both armies start chain routing en masse, as you can see. So if you use those chariots correctly, I'm hardly engaged with my infantry at all, but if you use the chariots correctly, the effect can be absolutely devastating. And it was really wise on Mohammed's part to wait and not be too hasty with the chariots, because I initially wanted to try a rush. But this worked out really well, and I mean, we took a completely fresh Brutii army and chain routed it. So that's just how nasty these chariots can be. I did have them pretty much tanked up all the way on attack, and the result was pretty fantastic. So 1 minute, probably in less than a minute, probably 75% of their forces just chain routed. So that's pretty nasty. And yeah, so I mean, it was really smart on Mohammed's part to wait that out. I have the most kills just because of how nuts my chariots were, but I think the glory should mostly go to Mohammed, to be honest. He did most of the work. All I did was support him, deny the Brutii player much opportunity to do much, and just support Mohammed where he needed to be. But he took that initiative in that infantry engagement and won the peer scrap, and that allowed us to thin out Spider-Pig's forces quickly. And once that rout got going, the Brutii soon couldn't handle the sheer weight against them, and even though they were perfectly fresh, chariots and overwhelming numbers combined is an absolute disastrous recipe for those Brutii. So let's have a look at my statistics. Look at the chariots: 266, 193, 108, 123, 137, 116. They clearly got all the kills pretty much for everyone, well, most of the kills on our team. Some of these pikemen got a few when they charged in, and some of these legionnaires got some. This one got 170. That's probably just picking up routers, but to be honest, that goes to the chariots. But I do think Mohammed should get most of the credit for this fight, because he made the opening, and he timed it, and it was his idea to hold the chariots towards the end, and that really paid off. So great game to Mohammed, Spider-Pig and Beta. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell me what you think, guys. Leave comments. It was a pretty exciting, epic game, and it does show the effectiveness of chariots. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon next time.